All right. What up? It's your boy,
Hello.
Matt, and I'm back with the second place elite female DECA Fit champion's probably not the right word on second place, but got second place in DECA Fit to the GOAT. She won PA last year in August, and she just lit up Hyrox Las Vegas. I've got the one, the only, Kat Fahsbender. Kat, how we doing?
Good. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, Kat, I am pumped that you are here. Okay. To knock the ice off a little bit, I've been doing this. I've been playing this game with my guest, and it's the Hyrox over under. So I pick famous people, and then I set a line of what time you think that they would do pro, and then you let me know if you think they would go over that time or they would go under that time.
Oh, okay.
Sound
That
good?
is so fun. Yes, yes.
Yeah. All
I
right.
hope I know.
I'm gonna go with famous people because you're from Jersey. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with famous people from New Jersey, so you probably do know them. And I'll go like very obvious people.
Okay.
Okay. First one, Hyrox Pro. We're gonna go over under an hour and 40 minutes for Queen Latifah.
Over.
Okay. All right. Fair. I think we probably
I mean, I feel like
agree.
an hour and 40 minutes for that age group is really good in general. Like, you got to be like fit and ready to go. Is Queen Latifah like she doing endurance stuff?
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe she's
I also didn't
54.
know she was from Jersey.
She's from Newark.
Oh, not too far from me then.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we're gonna get into people that are a little bit more athletic.
Okay.
We're gonna go a Hyrox Pro. This man hails from. I didn't realize that he was from Jersey, so that's interesting. He's also from Newark. Very prominent in the podcast game and in the UFC. Hyrox Pro, hour 25, Joe Rogan.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm so glad you just gave me this one. I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, actually, with my boyfriend. He puts it on a lot. I think he could do like a 120. I'm gonna go under.
All right, going under. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I think if he'd probably take it seriously too. I feel like he's got to run a lot. He's like big friends with Cam Hanes, so he probably has like a little bit of an engine.
Mm-hmm.
Although he definitely sits a lot. I don't know how anyone can do a 5-hour podcast, but all right, last one. My favorite Major League Baseball player growing up, because we know he's an athlete. I have no idea what his engine is. Let's go Derek Jeter, 75 minutes, hour 15.
I think over.
Over. Okay. How much over? How far off?
I think he would do like a 125.
So you think he'd be slower than our boy Joe?
I do. I think Joe Rogan can just power through it.
But probably going to take some supplements too to power through it for sure. He might even be tripping while he's doing it. All right, fair enough. Okay, so probably my best one then was Joe Rogan, and we think that he'd go under.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, Kat, now that we've sufficiently broken the ice, super excited to be chatting with you today. So for those of you that don't know Kat Fahsbender, the reason why I brought Kat on the show is because Kat is new to the hybrid space, or relatively new. I mean, I guess we're all relatively new, but she's been doing it a little over a year now.
Yeah, about a year and a half, maybe. Yeah.
Because your first race was Dallas 2023, right? With your partner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that was a while ago.
Yeah. So actually, not even a year and a half. So you've been doing it less than 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
You and it's your boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Mike or Michael?
Mike. You can call him Mike.
Cool. So Kat and her boyfriend Mike crushed their first mixed doubles of the 62.05. Then they followed it up at the U.S. Championships, Open Championships in D.C., breaking that hour mark in their second race of 59.01. and then they actually competed in Nice, where they ran a 58:48. And that is impressive because I also ran in Nice and it was hotter than hell that day.
It was a rough day.
It was
Nice.
bad. I will never forget getting ready, if sitting in the start line and then being like, hey, make sure you're hydrated. People are like dropping and you're like, okay, whatever. And literally watching like them wheel people out. I don't know if you saw, they like took people out on gurneys
Oh no, I did not see
in
that.
the afternoon. Oh yeah. It
Oh,
was,
wow. Yeah, we were in
it
the
was
morning.
nuts.
I think we were on Sunday is when we raced.
Yeah, it was still hot though.
Oh yeah. I remember when I was running that race, I remember feeling like I've never felt so thirsty before. Like I remember thinking that. I was like, I am so thirsty.
Yeah.
But I don't have time to
Yeah.
stop, so I don't
Yeah.
care.
And also like finding water in France was like actually kind of
Anywhere.
difficult.
Even when I was in Chicago, I stayed at a hotel and they're like, we don't have water. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's
You have to go to the
basic.
gym. You have to go to
That's
the
like a
gym.
basic human right. So that was how Kat started in hybrid, and then we will get into her races here, but just kind of trying to set the scene for why we're talking to her today. She actually debuted in Chicago this year or I guess 3 months ago, with a 66, and then just followed it up with an impressive 64 at Hyrox Vegas. And then in between then, she actually won DECA Fit PA, and then competed just again 2 months ago, or I guess three months ago now, at DECA Fit Worlds, and probably would have won if not for the fact that the GOAT Lauren Weeks was in that race and beat most of the dudes that day.
Oh my goodness.
Impressive start, Kat. I
Thank
mean,
you.
you're 18 months into this, so let's maybe rewind that. What is your, like, I guess I'm just curious, like, do you have a running background? Like, you've got to be a runner.
So I've been running since I can even remember. I think I started running when I was in the 7th grade. I just went out of my house and went around the neighborhood like every day. I did like a mile or two, had my little iPod Touch with me.
Oh, yeah.
And I just ran like a mile or two every day and just kept building and building. It's just something that I done forever.
Okay. And you, did you run competitively? Like, did you run in like track or cross country?
I did winter track in high school because I played softball in the spring. I played softball throughout college too. I just did track just to kind of stay in shape. I wasn't really very good at it either when I was in high school. I think when I got to college and started doing a lot more running and long distance and speed stuff is when I finally was like, okay, this is something that I'm good at if I put my effort into it and my time into it. So yeah, I wasn't very good at running for a while until the last probably like 5 years, maybe.
Interesting. Okay. So you actually didn't then compete. Like you didn't run competitively. It's just something you picked up as you got older.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So did you run any like half marathons, 10Ks?
I would do like 5Ks when like turkey trots. I did like a 10K once. I recently did a half marathon. Like I'll just throw them in every once in a while. My work always has like a corporate 5K that I'll do. Yeah,
Okay. So what's your 5K PR, Kat?
It was in the DECA Fit in December.
Your 5K PR. So you okay?
Because all the courses that I've done are like hilly, so hilly around here. For like
okay, so non-DECA Fit, what's your fastest 5K?
I think it was like a 1911.
Okay. All
So
right,
it's like nothing like crazy fast. So I think I run faster in my races.
Yeah, you did. I'm looking at DECA Fit championships. You ran in 1842. So literally, you ran about 30 seconds faster and a DECA Fit. That's impressive. That's moving. Okay, so what's your half marathon PR?
125.
Okay, so you got endurance because like a 125 is like, I mean it's
like a 6:30-ish pace.
Yeah, so you got some natural talent.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So you started training a little bit, ran that, and then you did a 125. That's impressive. Okay. So Now you're still relatively just like kind of get my bearings on time here. You said that you started running like in college, but you're still fairly young, right? You're
Well, I
20.
started running when I was like, I
Sorry,
guess
you started running when you were younger, but like you started running like longer distance and taking
longer.
it more seriously in college.
Oh yeah, definitely. When I got to college, because I was, I played softball, and if you play softball, you know, like you don't really do much when you're practicing.
What
You're like,
position did you play?
I played the outfield, so I did do running
Okay.
sometimes, like when we had to run
So
the
you're an
bases.
athlete. You're an
But
athlete.
it was I needed more. Like I wanted to do more than just that practice, so I would
You're a
run.
Clydesdale cat. They just needed to be let free.
I was excited to run the bases.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay. So all right. So you like, how did you get into hybrid? Like, you like, obviously I'd imagine you're a fairly competitive person. But I feel like most people like stumble into this because of like CrossFit or because like they're like OCR. But like you have a kind of an atypical background of some of the top people that we see in terms of like you don't have an OCR background. You don't have like a high level running background.
I don't have much of a background.
So how did you? Okay, so what did you stumble on first? Did you stumble on DECA or did you stumble on Hyrox?
The first hybrid race I ever did was the doubles for DECA in 2023. That was like the first, and once I did that, I was like, oh, I was like, I liked that a lot, and so it was.
So how did you find it? Because like I found, and this is no shade at DECA, I found DECA because of Hyrox. I feel like most like I feel like the people that like stumble into DECA, I feel like stumble into DECA because of Spartan racing,
Mhm.
right? So like how did you find DECA?
I worked at a local gym that a bunch of the people. So I heard of Hyrox because they did the one that was in June of that year, and then one of the coaches that I worked with is a
In New
big
York?
Spartan guy,
Got it. Okay.
and so he was like, "Hey, you want to like partner up for DECA, like try it out?" And I was like, "Yes, that would be awesome." So we did that. We did pretty well, I think. Like we didn't do like we did well. Like I think we came in top 10. I don't remember, but
This was New York
no,
2020,
this was Philly 2023
Philly 2023. Okay, let's see.
for DECA Fit.
Oaks, PA.
Yeah.
There's
Oops.
DECA teams.
Hmm.
But it was co-ed.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the race that
That Megan Ryan.
won. Yeah,
Yeah.
Meg and Rich Ryan
I
set
remember watching them, and I
the
was
world
like,
record.
this was like, again, I was so new. I was like, who is that? I was like, and then the partner I was with, his name's Remy. He was like, yeah, like they're like the best. And I was like, oh, okay. And I just like watched them race, and it was little did I know that
Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy.
So you guys took a top 10 finish that day. Actually, you raced a 32:34, which is crazy because that's not too far off from your PR as a solo. So this obviously is something that you're good at. Other notable names in that race: Kevin Gregory, Isaac Sanderson, Chris Rogloski, Amber and Zach Tate, Michelle Navarro, friend of the show, and I believe a
Yeah.
friend of yours.
She is, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so you raced with Remy and then you caught the bug.
Oh yeah, caught it real
Okay.
fast.
And then like where did you go from there?
From there, he wasn't my boyfriend at the time, but Mike was like, let's sign up for a Hyrox. And I was like, okay. And we signed up and we just started training. I think it was like, we started training in September for, the race was November. And since we started training for that race in September of 2023, it's just been all hybrid training. Like I thrive in it. It is my favorite thing to do. I never get bored, and I just love the fact that I can keep getting better in it. Like it's addicting to me. I think a lot of people can agree with that, is like finally feeling those results and feeling yourself get better, and watching your goals and dreams like happen, it's awesome. So
You're
yeah.
talking to someone who did a race, got absolutely waxed, and then made it their entire personality so that it would never happen again. So I totally
I did something very
understand.
similar.
I understand the addictive nature. Let's take a quick step back. So something that you mentioned there was Mike asked you to race with him. He was not your boyfriend at the time. Was this a long game by Mike? Was he like, hey, if I get this girl to race with me, maybe she'll date me?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we started dating very shortly after, but yeah, maybe.
He's got gay. That's like an Anthony Parasini, like Lauren Weeks reference. Like, hey, if I get her to compete with me, maybe she'll go on a date with me. Okay, so you so you just like you literally dove right in. You did DECA Fit teams. You were like, this is amazing. Mike asked you to do a Hyrox, and then you were like, this is also amazing. Very impressive to break 60 in your second race, like third hybrid race ever. You don't have like an athletic background, or sorry, you have an athletic background. You don't have a big time like running background. So talk to me like a little bit about like when you decided to go like all in, like was that like you literally did DECA Fit teams with Remy and then you're like, this is my like hybrid, this is my thing, and you went all in at that point? Or was it after the Hyrox?
It was like, I guess like after Dallas. So okay, so Michael did this ultra marathon where he did 26 miles for 6 days straight for MS. It's like called MS Run the US. So he did that this past April or last April. He knew he had to build that mileage up till April. So when we were training for Dallas as well at the time. So we were running like we did not do this the right way looking back, but whatever. We were running like 8 to 10 miles, probably about 5 to 6 days a week. So that endurance just came really fast. We both had he did Spartans in the past. Like he still does them sometimes. I've never done that. I've always done like maybe 5 or 6 miles tops. So once that endurance started building, it was like, you know.
Yeah. So you basically like you were training with Mike, or he was training for
A big
he was
ultra.
training for an ultra, yeah, for a big ultra. You started running. I guess like at that point, like were you like when did you decide that you were gonna go after like did you always know that you were gonna go after like the solo side of the sport, or like is it one of those things that you were like, hey, like this team stuff is fun, but like I know that I'm like better than yeah, sorry. I realized that I could fix this. It was like I realized that I'm better than these dudes that I'm racing with, and I want to see what I can do myself. Or like talk to me through that.
So it was kind of like last season was my first season of Hyrox, and I think the way to go with Hyrox is you should get a couple doubles under your belt before you go into solo. I personally really am glad that I went that route. And of course, like mixed doubles is the same weight as women's pro. And I think when I realized that it was something that I could do on my own and be pretty good at it was one weekend, we like a bunch of friends, we all did a sim, and I did the sim. We did it all solo, and I did it with the pro weight, and I did well with it. So I was like, okay, maybe this is something that I can do by myself and be pretty good at it. So I finished off last season. We did doubles. We went to France. It was awesome. And we both agreed, me and Mike agreed that this season we're going to go solo. Still doing the same races, just solo. And yeah, I think I also realized when we were racing, I'm a very strong runner. And not that Michael's not, but he wasn't like staying with me as much as he wanted to. So I was like, all right, I think I can do this by myself.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's that first kind of point you made. Like, I think that's actually how Hyrox initially intended the doubles race to be. Was like, at least that's how they talked about. Like when I started doing hybrid 2.5 years, or when I started doing Hyrox 2.5 years ago, which like doesn't sound like a long time, but in Hyrox is a long time. That's back when we had like 400 people at races, 500 people at races.
That would be nice.
I know, right? The courses are so crowded. That's kind of how they pitched it. Was like, hey, like if you don't want to take on a solo, like it's great. You could do it as a doubles, or if you're not ready for doubles, you can do a relay. It's funny because now I actually think that like if you're fit, doubles can like hurt worse.
Oh, it's totally different race.
Yeah, totally. It's a totally different race, and it can be tough. So okay, so but like talk to me about like the evolution of like, because like most people don't just like the people that show up on the scene and just like crush it. They're like coming from like they're like JK, who can run, like who is a big time runner, right? And could run a half marathon in like sub 1:15, right? Like they're like coming with like, or like Pelayo, right? Who's like a high level triathlete, and like Cat, like you obviously got that dog in you, but like you were like, admittedly, like someone was just like, you seem like if someone's got like a good idea, you're like, yeah, let's do that. So like that's kind of like how you got into it, and then like you just kind of were like running. Like when did you get like focused, and like what did that look like for you? Did you start with like did you follow like a generic plan? Like did you know a coach? Like how did you start to like really dial in your training?
So leading up to leading up to DC, which was in March of it was about a year ago now. It was our second Hyrox doubles. So starting in January of last year, Michael and I kind of just, we would run really long distances together, and then we would throw in some Hyrox workouts throughout the week. We really did our own training and planning.
Like the ones they post on Instagram?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like we did not know what we were doing. We followed random workouts. On Saturdays, we would make our workouts. So we would make these crazy workouts that our friends would do with us. It was wild. That time was wild leading up to DC, just remembering those workouts we did. But yeah, we were following those Hyrox workouts that they would post, and now thinking about it, I'm like, why did we do that? But also, why wouldn't we? What did we know? We had no idea what we were doing. We were just trying to get better. Wouldn't take that approach now, but yeah, so we just did kind of whatever we wanted to do.
All right.
I love running. Running is like my favorite thing. I did a lot of speed sessions on the track. That's when I started to really get a lot faster last year. I would do 800s and 400s. I would do like, it's called the Man U. I don't know if you know what that is, but you would sprint all the way down the football field and jog back in under a minute, and you did it like 20 times. It's crazy workout, awesome workout if you want to die at the end. But I was just doing these crazy speed sprint stuff and doing ergs, and I got into crazy shape from it.
I want to say that this is relatable, but it is not. This is crazy. Like you just were like, you're like, yeah, like we're gonna lift heavy shit. We're gonna run fast.
That's exactly what we did.
We're gonna do it a lot, and we're just gonna gain fitness.
I think a big thing in the fitness fitness, whatever world, is you have addictive personalities. I think that's a big trait that everybody has, and in the fitness community. And once you find something that you really like and you want to get good at, it becomes addictive. I believe in that. I really think it does.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, you're talking to someone who made it their entire personality. So I definitely understand that.
Everyone listening to this is the same way too. They can probably be like, "Yep."
For sure. So okay, so were you Fahsy fit before you were doing the Man U workout, or did you start doing the Man U workout and you're like, oh, I'm Fahsy fit?
I made Fahsy fit it was before our first Hyrox, actually. I always wanted to make like a fitness account. It's still my second account, but I use it like it's my first account. Like I don't even use my other real account anymore. I'm about to delete it at this point. But yeah, I love Fahsy Fit. It's like the community that is on Instagram that I've been able to create and build with Fahsy Fit I love it. I don't know how else to explain it.
Okay, so all right, so so Fozzy Fit is this like alter ego that you've got prior to getting into hybrid. You get into hybrid, you're just like, just doing it all. Like you're running, you're lifting, you're sprinting, you're erging, you're simming,
Yeah.
you are like successful. So obviously like you've got like, it's probably fair to say that you have a little bit of like a natural ability.
Mhm.
For those that are maybe like getting into hybrid, it's probably fair to say that Kat's experience is probably a little bit atypical. You may not have the same results right away. Results may vary. So, okay, so you do Nice, and then after Nice, like, do you decide at that point, like, okay, like, now I'm gonna like do it for myself. Like, I'm gonna go. You kind of already alluded to that. Like, you and Mike decided that you're gonna do solo races this year.
Yeah.
Like, where did you go from there? Like, did you kind of keep like, did you decide like, hey, like, I need to do a little bit of like, I probably need to get a little bit more structured, or is it still kind of like, hey, I'm just like, this workout sounds fun and I feel good today, so let's go for it.
No more of that. I actually, once we were done with Nice, I started a strength block for it was all summer. I was still running, still doing speed stuff, but focusing a lot more on strength and power with a program online that we followed. I forget the name of it. Michael had access to it, so I just used it. But it was awesome. It was great. I hadn't strength trained like that in so long because the gym that we were working out at, I don't know if you're familiar with F45, is where we coach. We were coaching a lot last year, not so much anymore, but the strength days are great, like, but not the kind of strength that I needed to build my strength for Hyrox, especially with the pro weight coming up. So I was doing a lot of compound movements, and I gained a lot of strength over the summer. And then DECA Fit Philly happened. I was preparing for that. I was doing a lot of 500s on the track leading up to that, just because I knew that they were 500s. That was really all that I did to prepare for DECA Fit Philly. But yeah, and then we got a lot more structured.
Okay, so your first DECA Fit, you ran a 33:15, and that race, Katie D'Ambrosia and Katie Duke were in. So that was a fairly strong.
I was in the second heat.
You won from the second heat.
I didn't even race them. I was in the second heat by myself the whole time. The second heat had like 4 or 5 girls. But after the rower, I was by myself mainly the whole time.
Dang. Okay. All right. So that would have been that time that you put up in your debut. Would have been like the. Oh wait, no. This is showing. Why is this showing? Oh no, it's no. Okay. Yeah. All right. For the year. Okay. Yeah. It would have been the 5th fastest time. 6th fastest time on the year. So you kind of like with a you like enter the scene like with a bang. It's like, okay, hey, like Fozzy Fit is like focused on this now. She's a rocket. Boom. Like nails DECA. That feels good. You do it from the second heat. Impressive. Then at that point, like, did you know, were you always going to be training for Hyrox in Chicago? Like, was this like on the way up? Okay.
Yeah, this was a race we threw in. I knew I was racing Chicago the second that we finished Worlds, basically, or when the schedule came out.
Yeah. I think it got announced like it was like 3 days later or something like that, and it like sold out very quick. Yeah. Okay, so you were all right. So talk to me a little bit about like this is something that I love asking people who do both. Like, it is very hard to be very good at both because they are different. Like, it is a 5K versus 10K to a half marathon, right? And like, how did you balance the training of like, because you obviously dominated at Worlds. You came in at 32:46. You took 30 seconds off and that was what, 3 weeks after Chicago?
Yeah, just about probably.
I think like it was like pretty close.
About a month.
So how did you balance the training of like prepping your body for Hyrox Chicago, which I personally like, and I guess we'll come back to the Hyrox, but you ran a 66:21. And that course that day, although we saw some fast times on the men's side, we did not necessarily see fast times on the women's side, because as someone who was there, the course when the women's pro were going was
Awful.
jam packed.
It was all the doubles teams, right?
It was like, it was all kinds of doubles teams. It
Mhm.
was wild. Actually, there was we don't have to get into this, but I believe actually you came into the wall balls and didn't have a judge initially because there was so many people. We'll come back to Hyrox, but like, how did you like? I guess that is something that I'm really curious about, because like, for someone who is like building their own training plans and like new to the sport, like it's hard for the elites, like, and you are an elite now, but like it's hard for the elites that have been doing this for a long time to like dial in for both races at the same time. So how did you like balance that throughout the fall, especially when the Hyrox race, although you had done a doubles, like the solo race in and of itself, like we see a lot of really good athletes get buried the first time they do a solo race because you just have to learn. And a 66 is legit. So like, how did you ride that line?
So to be honest with you, that Chicago time, like, yes, like the 66 was good. That was not a good race for me. Mentally, physically, I felt so bad. I learned so much in that race, but I crashed.
As you should, Kat. As you should. No one should do. I think it's a rite of passage. No one should do a Hyrox the first time and be like, that felt great.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, like Chicago versus Vegas, two totally different races for me. But it was Chicago was rough. Like I don't even want to think about it. But when it came to balancing Hyrox and DECA, my main priority was Hyrox. Like DECA was on the back burner. I wasn't doing DECA workouts. I wasn't doing anything to prepare for DECA until Chicago was over. When Chicago was over, I took like maybe it was a week down a little bit, like not too crazy. I always have to take like a week of no intensity. And then I think it was like 2.5 weeks of shorter, more intense workouts that were more specifically tailored towards DECA. So 500s, shorter ski intervals, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So basically like okay. So that like begs another question. So you basically trained for Hyrox and just trusted that the fitness would translate over.
I think training for Hyrox will translate to DECA.
Yeah.
100%.
Which makes sense. I feel like,
but not the other way around.
Yeah. I feel like that's the common kind of thing that people will say is like, if you get super specific for DECA, it's not going to translate over. But if you're specific for Hyrox, it will.
Oh yeah.
It goes the other way. Okay. So, I guess then like it sounds like you're more drawn to Hyrox as a sport than DECA. I guess talk to me a little bit about that in the sense of like, I guess what draws you to Hyrox specifically? Because like honestly, you came in, you won your first DECA Fit. Like I mean, and like that's hard to do, and you competed really well in a very tough field at Worlds. Again, like you got second place, but you got second place to arguably one of the greatest women to ever do hybrid. So it's like, that's like nothing to like hang your hat on. Like clearly like that could be like a niche for you. So I guess what's the attraction to Hyrox for you specifically?
I think how hard it is.
Okay.
Hyrox is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And the way, like, I just love the training for it too. It's a grind. It really is. And the way that I've transformed like as a person just from training for endurance and these hybrid races has been crazy. Like it translates so much into other aspects of my life, like not even just working out. Like I feel like the way that training for DECA and Hyrox like gives you that grit that you need for like other aspects of your life. That's why I like training for it so much. Like, I don't know. I become so much stronger, like when I'm working too. Like my resilience is like crazy different than when I wasn't even training for anything. It's like when you have goals and you're striving for goals, the journey to get there like translates everywhere else in your life, not just on what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are there other examples of that in your life where like you've chosen like the hard thing because it was hard? Is that why? Or is it because of like what you said, like all the other benefits that you get from it in your personal life of like training for a hard thing? Like, is this the first time? Cause like, I think most humans like avoid pain and they
Yeah.
avoid like hard things. So like, is this something that you've like always kind of gravitated towards, like that concept of like going after the hard things? Or is this the first time that you've done that?
I think it's like within the last year and a half, I've really started leaning into that more. When it comes to my work, like I work in insurance, and sometimes insurance can be very stressful, and there's some people that are hard to deal with. But I think being able to just get through that and just knowing, like, I don't even know how to describe this. It's hard for me to put into words, but like by doing hard things in the gym and being able to finish and feel accomplished by it, it's the same thing with me in work. Like when I'm faced with something hard at work, I know that like as long as I put my mind to it and I'm focused on getting it done, like it gets done, and it's like so rewarding after too. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard for me to explain this.
No, that
Thank you.
totally that totally makes sense. It's like that concept of like uh anything that you like when you do hard things, it makes like it puts other things in perspective.
Mhm.
But okay. All right, so let's talk about Chicago. So like I said, that was that race was a tough race. It was not just tough for you, it was tough for I think all the women who ran that day, because like I said, the course was incredibly crowded when the women were about midday.
Yeah,
So
we were at like 2 o'clock. I think it
yeah,
was
so
like,
there were doubles on the course. I believe there was mixed doubles still on the course, I believe is what it was. And then there was also I think that there was still some like solo stragglers.
mhm.
And I'm just biding my time so I can find the Chicago Navy Pier results. There they are. Okay. So that day you finished fifth overall. That was the day that Jennifer Thompson ran a
Yeah, that
63:05.
was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Maria Fetrick was also in that race. Bridget Brown was in that race. I
Kelsey.
believe a personal friend of yours, Kelsey,
Yeah,
was in that race. Lauren Rontalo was in that race. Nicole Rebecca. So Katie Duke was in that race. Brooklyn Nichols. So I mean, there was some very experienced racers. And actually, you guys were you all were in the same heat.
yeah,
With the exception of Elena Ruka-Chaz, who's a friend of the show. So you did take first in your age group. Shout out for that 25-29.
ooh,
But talk to me a little bit about like talk to me about that race. Like you said that for you, like it just like nothing went right. I'm gonna pull up your splits. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say that the moment that things started to not feel good for you is when you hit that sled pull. Is that fair?
yes, it is. No, it was
Okay.
after. It was running off of the sled pull.
Yeah. Okay. So to get kind of everybody up to speed, the first lap was a little short. So Kat ran at 2:59, came in, skied conservatively at a 4:20, then run to a 3:55, smashed the sled push. Kat, did you regret that at all?
You know, I looked at my
Do you remember
times,
what you pushed it in that day?
2:30 ish.
2:24,
Oh,
which
okay.
means that you probably pushed it in like 2:10.
Oh,
205
dang.
because like the in and out, yeah,
Yeah.
you hammered that thing. Okay, so you hammered it and then you come off run 3 4:13, then you get to that sled pull 4:10 and then run 4 4:19. So like you said you don't want to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it, Kat.
We
How did
can
that
talk
like
about it.
it's your first race. Like what are you thinking in that moment?
Holy shit, I'm in pain. I'm gonna throw up and shit myself all in my first race.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Um, Yeah, no, that first race for me was like, I hate using this word, but it was like traumatic almost. My fueling for these specific events and endurance is so different than just fueling for average training, everyday training. I learned that the hard way when I started training in September leading up to, or August leading up to Chicago. My fueling just wasn't there, and unfortunately that's something I struggle with, and I think a lot of people also struggle with, is eating enough in order to perform well. But like there's also that thing with endurance people is like you want to look a certain way as well, so it's hard to balance it, and I felt that a lot in my race, and I made a promise to
So
myself
did you
after
feel
that.
like you were underfueled or overfueled?
Oh, I was very underfueled. When
Okay.
I got to wall balls, I couldn't even do like 3 reps in a row because I just completely had nothing in me anymore. It was rough. I told myself that's never happening again, and I've taken it a lot more serious now, working with nutrition and all of that, and it's been a world of a difference. So, you learn a lot from your first race.
What do you feel like you're doing differently now, nutrition wise? Like, is it specifically, so is it like leading up to it? Is it day of? Like, what do you feel like the difference for you is nutrition wise?
Um, every day. I wasn't eating
Okay.
enough at all. Like at all. So just upping calories every day. Um, I was also not good, but I was not a big eat before I work out person in the morning. Never did that in my life. And now that's just another way for me to get calories in for the day, is to wake up and eat. And a lot of it was because I do my training in the morning. I wake up at 4:45, 5 o'clock every day to do my training before I go to work. And it was either sleep or getting up early to eat more before I work out. And I
Yeah.
chose sleep. And then someone said to me one day, they said, "Well, how bad do you want it?" And I was like, "Don't say that to me." And then now I get up 30
I
minutes
want it so
earlier.
fucking bad. Don't say that to me.
Yeah, I said it. So now I think of that every time I'm waking up earlier to eat a banana and peanut butter
Yeah.
before I train. Is how bad do I want it? Um, so yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So like you didn't feel great about it, but still like point stands. I mean, a 66 debut is very strong
Yeah.
on the women's side. And then you went from there. Did you feel like after that race, did you feel like, hey, like I know, like, did you feel like there was things that you needed to work on? Or did you feel like, hey, this was just like this is a nutrition thing?
No, I definitely needed to pace it way better. Right out the gate, I was booking it. Like it was that first race, like the adrenaline I had and my heart rate was so high in that start tunnel. And I just I went so hard the first 20 minutes, and felt it. So changing around that strategy coming into
The
Vegas was,
pacing.
yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So we changed. So you changed nutrition and pacing. Anything else going into Vegas?
Yes, I actually made it almost like a mini strength block for myself. I was upping calories. I was strength training 2 times a week, like strength training. And then I was also still doing like running intervals and stuff like that and Hyrox workouts. So I just kind of switched around my training a bit. I wrote my own lifting program on things that I thought I needed to work on and that I would benefit from, and I gained a lot of muscle. I gained like 4 or 5 pounds of muscle leading from November to January. Um, and I definitely felt it when I was racing the next time too. So just knowing that I needed to be stronger, and taking action on that and doing it.
Yeah. So it's a little bit hard to compare them online because Vegas had the mistake where, for whatever reason, ski erg didn't work. And
Yeah,
so your ski erg time is in your run 2 time. If you go and look up Kat's results, it looks like she ran a 9:02 run 2, but that is
I
not
did not
accurate.
do that.
Yeah, you did not do that. What is interesting is so you actually on sled pull, burpees, and actually farmers, you went a little bit slower, but wait, no,
Wait, burpees? I thought I did
hold on,
fast.
I need to swap this. This
Okay. I was
is
gonna
busted.
say I had a
There
bad
we go.
situation with farmers in Las
Okay,
Vegas.
no, here we go, okay, I had this backwards. You improved your sled pull, you improved your burpees, and you improved your lunges, and then where you really like, I mean, almost where the everything was basically right about the same, but the difference is you closed way harder. You took
Oh
a
my gosh.
minute 31 off your wall balls, and
Yes.
actually you did 3:38. So if it wasn't unbroken, it was probably pretty close.
Yeah, it would. I think I did about 65 and then I dropped it. When I drop it though, like it's like right back up. I pick it right back up. But it was, yeah, I think I got about 65 and then did about like 15 more and then just banged them out. But yeah, my wall balls were crazy different. Like I had it was just like such a different feeling. I could actually do them.
Yeah. So so obviously part of that was probably nutrition. Do you feel like the strength block that you did helped that, or was it just like,
I think so. I think just overall everything. Like, yes, nutrition helped me a lot. Pacing helped me a lot. My strength block, I was doing a lot of push presses, like heavy ones too. Like, even though it's not like 100 reps of it, it still helps you so much. So I think there was a bunch of different little things that went into that race that helped me
yeah.
improve too.
Yeah. And so that, I mean, that again, a 64 is impressive. I mean, for the women's pro, like that's impressive anytime. I mean, that is faster than what, that's a faster time than, um, what a lot of women were running last year to get in. So based on the math that I've just done, your average time of the two races is a 105:34, which for the on the Elite 15, that would put you right now, you'd be like 30. They haven't updated this, so it's hard to say, but you're on the board.
Mhm.
So what is your plans for the rest of the season? Are you trying to crack into this Elite 15?
Ugh, I would love to, but I don't have that chance to. Like, I'm racing DC, which is all open.
Okay.
I wasn't able to race like Houston. I'm doing at Miami, but I'm doing doubles with Kelsey, doubles pro.
Okay.
So we're gonna try to qualify for the Elite 15 doubles at that race. That's our goal. So the Elite 15 this season.
So for those listening, Kelsey is the one who finished right above Kat in Chicago in fourth with, let's see, what was her
It was
time?
like a 105 something.
105:59.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going
So,
to try to qualify. Have you thought about, I mean, I'm just going to ask, Kat, you like the pain cave, you like racing. Have you thought about the Last Chance Qualifier?
well, how does that work though? I thought it still had to be two of your average times.
Last
No?
Chance Qualifier is open.
Really?
So, yeah, so it's the top 3 finishers in the Last Chance. Like, so anyone can sign up. You don't like, it's the pro race that day. Whoever shows up at the start line, if you finish top 3, you're in.
And this is in Barcelona.
It is in Barcelona. You and Mike want to go to
When's
Spain?
that at?
Oh, this is live breaking news, folks.
Breaking
Uh,
news. Wait, yeah, because I
uh,
really thought that it still had to be like an
no,
average time.
nope. The Last Chance qual. So like last year in I raced Anaheim, and I wound up in Heat 1. So I wound up in the LCQ race, and there was no expectation. I'm like a 68, 70 guy. I'm not a 55 guy.
Yeah.
I'm just not that guy. It was a different kind of race watching that happen. But in theory, if I would have gotten second, I would have been in. It's the week after Miami, Cat. So you're gonna be in shape.
I'm gonna be in Miami though. I'm staying in Miami. But isn't they said there was gonna be one in the US?
No, not
What?
this year.
They said that online.
No, it's just Barcelona. I mean, look, all I'm saying, Kat, is partying in Barcelona after qualifying for the Elite 15 could be more epic than partying in Miami.
No, dang it. All right, I'll see what I can do.
Gonna think about it. Gonna think about it.
So, but if I were to not go to Barcelona, I think my plan is to get a nice time at Worlds, and then race really early next season too.
Okay, so you have qualified for Worlds as a solo.
Oh yeah. I qualified
Okay.
in Chicago.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because you won your age group in Chicago. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So you're gonna race DC Open, and you're gonna probably wax the field, and then you're going to race Miami with Kelsey, and then you're gonna focus on Worlds.
Yep.
Which that time will count towards your
Right.
2 times for next year. So you already have a 104 with your Vegas time. So, but is that the goal going forward? Like, are you trying to, like, next season, are you trying to break into that Elite 15?
Yeah, that is the goal. I knew I wanted to take this season almost to just get more racing experience by myself under my belt. But the Elite 15 is definitely a dream of mine, and may or may not be on my vision board.
I haven't seen your vision board, but I'm gonna guess that it's definitely there. All right, so we're working towards Elite 15. You're gonna race with Kelsey. You're gonna race by yourself. Are you and Mike gonna go after the mixed doubles?
No, I don't think so this year. I wanted to do New York, but it really frustrates me that it's outside and it's hot and it's 2 weeks before Worlds.
Breaking news: Fahsy Fit is too fast for Azar trains. That's what I'm hearing. Well, what's what I'm hearing?
No.
Mike got her in. She's too fast. She's too fast. All right. Okay. So focus on that. Are you gonna do, what other races you got coming up? Are you gonna do any, like, even just like thinking this year? Are you gonna go back to DECA PA? Are you gonna defend your title?
I'm coming back to DECA for sure. DECA is so fun. I love that race.
So okay. All right. So you're gonna go for DECA, and then are you gonna, obviously, if you get into Worlds, you're gonna go again?
Yeah. I was also supposed to this past weekend go to Bubbles' gym to do some of the DECA stuff, but
yeah,
didn't work out.
Are you a DECA mile girly? You're gonna try a DECA mile?
I would love to try that. I want to do the ones with running. You can miss me with the DECA strong thing. I don't want to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Fahsy fits fast. Fahsy fits fast.
Let me use my strength. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to do like a mile. That'd be cool.
Hey, maybe that's what you and Mike need to do. Maybe you need to do like a DECA mile. You just hammer the runs, and then he can hammer the stations.
No, actually, though, you know what? The fact that I had to do the DECA Fit solo and then co-ed the same day, I don't know how these people who do DECA do the entire weekend of competing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. At Worlds, you competed with Bubbles, didn't you?
Yes, I did. And that was
that's right. That's right.
Hard. I wish that it was a separate day because, I mean, obviously, like, that race is so fast, and I did a lot of the running, so I just,
Yeah. Okay. So, all right.
But Katie Duke and Grayson crushed it. That was
Katie Duke I still don't understand how she did 6 races in a weekend. I'm going to Houston in 2 weeks, and I'm racing twice, and I already have, like, anxiety about it. I cannot imagine doing 6 races.
Right. That's what I'm thinking with Worlds, like for Hyrox too. Like, I like to say when, because I don't say if, but like when me and Kelsey qualify for the elites, like, that's 2 races back to, like, in 2 days. Like, oh my God, like, that stresses me out too. So I understand.
I need to put some respect on your name, Kat. I'm going to quickly go back. I forgot that you raced with Bubbles. Kat also took second in DECA Fit co-ed teams with a 26:17, 27 seconds behind Grayson and Katie. And for the record, Katie and Grayson set the world record that day. So again, nothing to hang your head about. Yeah, that's okay. So we're just gonna keep doing it all, is what I hear you saying. Until we can't.
We're gonna see keep racing. What Fahsy Fit's capable of.
we're gonna figure out at what point is Fozzie Fit's breaking point.
Never.
All right. So okay. So we'll see you in DC.
Yes.
We will see you in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you in Chicago. We'll see you DECA Fit PA.
Yep.
And then Lord willing, we'll see you at DECA Championships. I highly doubt that you won't be there unless something bad happens. So we're not going to put that juju out there.
No.
Are you going to do anything else this year? Are you going to do any, like, you said that your 5K is not very good. You're going to attack a 5K this summer.
I want to do trail race. I want to try some trail races.
Trail racing.
I've never done that, and it scares the living shit out of me. So
yeah. Who knows? Maybe it'll be great at that too.
Crawling under barbed wire and doing all that. What is that a trail? I don't know. The obstacle course?
That's the obstacle course.
Okay,
racing.
that.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to do trail racing or do you want to do OCR
I want to
racing?
do both. I would like
to
try
do both. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Clearly, I need to be more experienced in this stuff.
Yeah. No, it's all good. All right. We're coming up on the end here, Kat. Any advice?
Anyway.
Yeah, we'll get you out of here. Any advice that you have for people breaking into the sport?
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah. Pain doesn't last forever. When you're doing your hard things, just think about, like, it's not forever. It's going to pass, and you'll be much happier if you finish out the interval than if you don't, and then you go home and you're mad at yourself and thinking about it, because that's what I do. So
yeah, I love that.
Have fun. It's so much fun, and meet all the people in this community are awesome. I haven't met one bad person. I highly recommend the hybrid fitness space.
Yeah, pain doesn't last. I love that. It's fun. Well, Kat, I will also be in DC, so hope to meet you in person.
Yes.
Yeah, hope to meet you in person while we're there. Yeah. And thank you so much for joining the show.
This was so fun. Nice to virtually meet you.
Yeah. Take care, Kat. Appreciate you.
See ya.